Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast, and welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
Scariest shit you've seen, heard of, or experienced. I want to know what scary shit the fine people of /x/ have seen, heard, or been told about. 17 years ago, little kid in the 5th grade. Every day during recess, me and my friend, we'll call him Kevin, would hang out during recess. Our favorite spot was a radiator, which was positioned in a far corner of the playground, next to a wired fence that separated the school from a trailer park on the other side. We spent the majority of our recesses here. However, by the time we both reached 3rd grade, there was a rather large drug bust at the trailer park, causing a lot of the residents to move, leaving it mostly vacant. One trailer remains. Looks rusty. Over time, more and more vacancy notices are posted by the city on the door, but nobody ever receives them. Guess everyone just stopped giving a shit about it after a while. One day, me and my friend are eating lunch outside during recess. We're both facing the fence and the abandoned trailer park. Out of nowhere, we see a white flash from beyond the fence. Almost didn't notice it with the sun being out, but it was still noticeable. At first, we think nothing of it and don't tell anyone about it. However, over the next few weeks, it started happening more and more frequently, until we would see it pretty much every day during recess. Decide to tell one of the staff helpers about it, and she immediately calls the police. Didn't hear anything else about it after that. Walking home with my friend from a birthday party months down the line, we split off as we both lived on different streets. Say goodbye and tell him to log on to RuneScape when he gets home. Yeah, it was when RuneScape was pretty new. Sue me. Sitting on my computer mindlessly hours later, notice he never got on. Didn't show up to school the next day either. Odd. Days pass, still haven't seen him. Word starts to spread that he's sick. Ask my parents if I can go visit him since he's sick one day. They both exchange worried glances. Later, my dad tells me that he's visiting his grandparents in Chicago. Sitting at lunch alone on top of the radiator again. It's been literally months since I've last seen Kevin, getting pretty lonely. See that flash again from beyond the fence and get mad. Run up to the staff helper and tell her that the trailer is flashing at me again. She tries to tell me that she already took care of it, and it's just my imagination. Tell my parents about it that night. One of my dad's friends worked in the local police department. Very next day, recess has to be held in the inside gym. Teachers won't tell us why. Next day, the trailer is gone, and the area surrounding it is surrounded with yellow tape. The fence is later redone and is boarded up instead of being chain-linked. Somehow get the feeling I'll never see my friend again at this point. Years pass, and I forget about it. Until recently when I went back home to visit my parents, and we drove past my old elementary school. The trailer park is gone, and a daycare sits there instead. While driving, ask my mom what really happened to Kevin. Apparently my dad's police department friend and his coworker investigated that trailer park again, and inside the trailer they found a stash of pictures, about 20 in total, of me and my friend sitting on that radiator during recess, a couple of me sitting by myself after Kevin had gone missing. It really bugged me that they had lied to me all these years, but his body was never found, so I guess there's that. Whenever I think about how close I came to being in his shoes, I shudder. I don't think I'll ever know if he's dead or alive, or if they found who did it. By far, my most disturbing childhood experience.
I don't Greentext well. Kid and I couldn't sleep tonight, decided to go on a car ride. It's about 2 a.m., so I'm watching for drunks and talking to the 5-year-old about the planets and space and shit. I know a nice dark place where some friends and I have gone to watch meteor showers. Head that way so kid can see the stars without much light pollution. The place is down a dirt road. Pretty far down, actually. Get about halfway there and suddenly decide I'm close enough. Kid can see fine. We get out, kid's marveling at stars and loving that kid can see Venus. Suddenly, I smell rot. that weirdly sweet smell of decomposing flesh. Whiffs at first, but it's getting stronger, or at least more constant. I reason it's a dead animal in the ditch or something, but moving away from the spot doesn't get rid of it. And I'm starting to get paranoid. Like I'd planned to give the kid a good 20 minutes to look at the stars, to really let our eyes adjust, and be able to best appreciate the Milky Way. After maybe 2, I'm ushering the kid back into the car. Damn near started screaming at the kid when the kid refused to get in at first. Got in, door locked. Get kid buckled in the booster seat. My phone wasn't picking up signal when I've been out there before, and it worked just fine. It suddenly kicked back in with a burst of static, Bluetooth radio on Pandora, maybe a 1/10 of a mile down the road the way back. It had been playing when we got out, and I left the car running. Don't know what the hell was going on. I've no problem in the dark or out and about. Maybe it was having my 5-year-old with me. Maybe it was knowing we do occasionally have bobcats and shit in the area. But I don't normally freak like I did at all.
Be me 13. Live in a small slum area. Crime rife and creepy people everywhere. Next door neighbor is weird. Scrawny guy. Pretty sure he does crack. Grows pot in his garage. Sells it to the neighbors. Has a thing for my mom. It's obvious. One day I'm going to 7-Eleven. It's summer and I don't have my key, so I keep a window unlocked to climb through. The ghetto entrance. Go to 7-Eleven. Buy a corn dog and some candy. Pay as quickly as possible. It's been like 15 minutes and I'm getting paranoid. Run home. Get to the front yard. Nothing's wrong. Then I see the back gate at least a few inches open, like someone forgot to close it. I decide to investigate because I'm a dumb teenage boy. Open the gate. Front door is open. Neighbor is just walking out with my GameCube. I spot something else. My mom's underwear in his hand. I get so angry. So fucking angry. I push him down and start beating the shit out of him. He's kicking out, trying to get out from under me. Wilding on this creepy fucker. He finally gets up and away from me and threatens to call the police. I tell him never to come near my house again. He leaves like an evil dude whose plot has been foiled. Anon, professional home defender. A few days have passed. Go to the bar in the back alley across from my house because they have security cameras. Turns out they captured the whole thing. Pay $30 for the tape. Go to the thrift store to pay $15 for a VCR. Go back home. Hook it up to our shitty tube TV. Put in the tape. Mom is happy I'm helping out the house. Thanks, Mom. Show Mom the tape. She's horrified and avoids the neighbor until we can sell the house. Eventually sell it. Move into the new house. It's been a few months when I get a package in the mail. Some Japanese words on top. Open it. Candy. Wow, amazing.jpg. Open a package of soft marshmallow candy. Bite down. Feel something hard. What the fuck? Razor blade inside the marshmallow. All products have been tampered with. It's visible now. Ever since that, I know it was my neighbor. I've never told anybody.
Be me, 14 years old. Summer break. Go to Ukraine, I'm Russian, to the sea for 2 weeks with my brother and his wife. The sea blows and the city is old as shit. Nothing to do. My brother and his wife just go to clubs all the time. I just sit around in the apartment we rented for the vacation. It's on the first floor. It's 2 in the night. I'm home alone. Just talking to my homies back in Russia via my laptop. Look in the window. Very dimly lit yard. See a person staying in the light. Staying in one place and swaying a little bit. There was something unnatural about the way he or she was doing it. I tell my homies about it over Skype. They ask me to take a picture. I go to the other room to get my phone. When I come back, there is no one in the yard. That's weird, considering he or she was standing there for quite some time. Go back to put my phone on the charger. It's a very old house, maybe about 50 to 70 years old. I can hear the door to the main entrance of the building slam back because someone just walked in. I can hear someone stopping at my floor. No one knocks or does anything. I don't pay much attention to it. Next morning, my brother comes back and says the apartment door wasn't locked. I had chills when he told me about it.
Be on a church camping trip, somewhere around 14 years old. Large campground with a lake about half a mile away, all connected by a small paved road. Me and 3 friends, ages 14 to 16, decide to ride down to the water. Standing at the edge of the water, enjoying the sky and throwing rocks, talking, etc. Notice a glowing cloud on the right side of the water, right on the edge. The trees grew directly to the shore at this side. The cloud was a fairly large orb, floated up to almost the top of the trees, about 30 feet or so. See it start floating at moderate speed towards where we are. Guys, do you see that? Everyone sees it, standing in awe and confusion for a minute. Simultaneous freak out. We all rush to the car. The orb is still coming over the water. We speed back to the campsite, all trying to explain what we saw to the preacher. He is interested in what we're saying and tries to calm us. We are calmed enough after a bit and decide to go to the tent to sleep. Heading back to the tent, something catches the corner of my eye. Turn my head and see what looks like a girl in white, maybe wet, walking through the trees, doesn't notice us, freak out again. Pointed out to my friend. It's gone now, he didn't see it. Stay awake all night. Next day, wake up and head back to church. Friend's cousin is already there waiting on everyone, they lived next door. Hey you, cousin, won't believe what happened to us out there. Fill her in on the story. She goes pale, mouth open. Must have been the girl on the news. What? See girl on the news that night. She drowned in that same lake the weekend before. Me again, about the same age. In church, Friday youth thing. Nobody except church kids and people know about this. Sitting in the sanctuary. An old guy comes in during the middle of a song. Nobody knows him. He sits in the back on his own. He looks frozen or suffocating. Deep reddish purple face and lips. He's mumbling, shouting at times. Intelligible stuff. It sounds like speaking in tongues, but it's not. It's very unsettling and frightening. I know what speaking in tongues sounds like. I was at a Pentecostal church. Nothing like that is out of the ordinary. The guy starts to get words mixed in with his tongue. He is speaking to us. BVFJFE, FFFFFDAV, DSEHG, don't mind me, FDGFDJFEGF. Music keeps playing. This goes on maybe 10 minutes, I'm not sure. The guy eventually gets up hurriedly and walks out at the same pace he came in. Never saw him again. People there who said they had seen possession before said they were sure that's what it was.
B17, senior year of high school. Come home from school early. Half day. Invite friend over to play vidya. He gave me a lift back to my place and parked out front. We put on loud music in the basement and start up the N64. My war vet father with PTSD issues comes home. He sees my friend's car that he's never seen before parked out front. He thinks no one is supposed to be home, and he hears loud music in the basement. I hear the basement door open, and my dad walks down. Says something like, "Oh, I thought you were at school," half angrily. Friend and I both turn around to talk to my dad. Tell him it's finals week, yada yada. Friend turns back around while I talk to my dad for a second more. Father seemed agitated. While my friend is looking 180 degrees away at the TV, my dad pulls out a previously concealed 9mm and just holds it while giving me a 1,000-yard stare. I think, oh shit, am I about to die? After 5 seconds, he silently puts the gun back in his belt and walks back upstairs without saying anything about the gun. I asked him why he did it afterward, and he said he really didn't know. True story.
This story is from about 5 years ago. Not exactly spooky, but it's very strange, and to this day is one of the most significant experiences in my life. 15 years old, weeks before I start driver's ed and get my learner's permit. I'm a very anxious person, and the fear of being in an accident or being killed while on the roadway always kind of put me off from going through with it. But my parents made me. Out of nowhere, I begin having nightmares. Mind you, as I said, I'm an anxious person. I'm prone to frequent night terrors. But something about this seemed off. First of all, commonly, my nightmares consist of my more irrational fears. Granted, fear of driving is irrational, but usually it's of stupid things like drowning in the Pacific or being chased through my living room by a jaguar. This dream deviated slightly every time, but it always started the same. I'd be driving down the highway, with oddly no other cars on the road, and out of nowhere I'd hear an ear-piercing scream from right next to me, as if someone were in the passenger seat, but I can't ever turn to look at them. This is where it gets stranger. Most of the time at the end of the dream, I'm laying backside on the pavement with my head tilted back, looking at the road in front of me in a daze. And there lies a strange-looking black top hat, maybe like a trilby. It looks as if it would belong on the head of some edgy noir detective or some shit, though that's not always how the dream goes. Sometimes the hat would appear on the dashboard, sometimes in the rearview mirror on top of the back seats, sometimes between my legs on the floor of the driver's side beneath the steering column. The hat is always there, though. Nothing ever comes of this, though, at least not immediately. I go through driver's ed, get my license, and my parents even reward me with getting me a used Camry that I absolutely loved. 6 years down the line, I'm taking my mother to a dentist appointment in Renton, which is a very far drive from where she lived at the time. She was referred there to see an oral surgeon for some problem with her jaw I don't exactly recall. However, the on-ramp to the freeway closest to where my parents lived had a yield sign before you could merge, and it was a direct right turn to get into the nearest lane. I sat there, waiting for traffic before I made my turn, and when the coast was clear, I started to merge on. I was completely oblivious to everything. I was about mid-turn when I heard my mother shriek horrifically next to me, and it was already far too late by that point. The vehicle slammed into my side of the car, causing our vehicle to spin out and come to a stop close to the shoulder. I was heavily dazed, but as I looked around evaluating the situation, it remarkably appeared that I was without any major injuries. The driver's side door was destroyed, and it basically unhinged itself from the bottom without me even having to operate the handle. I crawled out of the car and attempted to stand, but it seems like my original assessment was wrong. My ankle had been messed up pretty badly, and the moment I tried to put too much pressure on it, it hurt like a bitch. As I lay there on my back, I felt a strange sense of déjà vu that I didn't really piece together straight away. I lay there, still dazed, for what seemed like hours before I was roused by a man kneeling at my side asking me if I was okay. I blinked the sun out of my eyes a bit and noticed something that instantly brought back memories. He was wearing that black hat. It was almost identical to the one I had seen in my dreams, save a few minor details being off. I was quite literally shitting my bricks, but my foremost attention was for my mother. My mother had seen the impact coming and had tensed up before the collision, which had apparently caused most of her injuries, according to one of the paramedics. I distinctly remember him saying to me, as he was tending to my ankle and checking me for further injuries, "No one should have survived this." I felt the same way, like somehow that wasn't meant to happen. My gaze wandered and eventually fell on the man who had helped me while I was down on the pavement, his black hat off and in his hand now. He was talking to one of the police officers, likely giving a report. When they had finished their business, he looked at me. I won't ever forget the look this guy gave me. He had a sort of half smirk on his face and a knowing look in his eye, like he was privy to some secret that I was oblivious to. He eventually got back into his car, and the last I saw of him was his brown little sedan receding into the distance. We were taken to the hospital as my mom had pretty bad internal bleeding. I've never told anyone about this because there is absolutely no way in hell any of my friends or family would take me seriously. Definitely the strangest thing that's ever happened to me. I guess this chalks up as some form of premonition. I'm not quite sure.
This might sound like a LARP, and I have no proof other than the stuff that was left for me, but I think when I was a child, someone or something was in my house, and I think it was trying to take me or something. Gives me chills to think back on it. Be me. Be young. There was this room that me and my siblings weren't supposed to go into. Found out years later it was because of fire damage, but at the time it was just that one weird room. Naturally, as a little kid and resident defiant little brat, go into the room sometimes when alone. Room was super creepy, seemed almost grayscale, like there was no color or life in it. At first, nothing happened. Would mess around in there just to look around. But then I would start finding things in the room. Stuff left for me. A red bouncy ball, a baseball with 3 scratches on it, a cross made from what I assume used to be nails, but I'm not really sure. One of those big cat-eye marbles, stuff like that. Still have all of those, by the way. Could never bring myself to get rid of them, and my parents were unattentive or trusting enough to either not know or not care where I got them. The last few times before I finally got caught and wasn't allowed in there anymore, I would hear noises in the room, like tapping or even someone talking. One time I heard talking and told them thank you for the gifts. I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember exactly how I phrased it at the time. I heard a laugh in response. I've had other stuff happen in that house too. I was terrified to go down the stairs at night because there was a window at their base. I thought I saw a pair of all black hands reach out like something was about to peek at me in my bedroom. And there are all these odd memories that were way too realistic to be dreams, but nobody else has any knowledge on, even if they were a part of it. Like there was one time where I found my sister in the laundry room and there was a full-size door set into the floor. My sister wanted me to go see what was down there and wanted me to go with her. I don't remember much after this, but I refused to go into it and she doesn't remember that happening in any context.
Be me, 16 years old, scrawny, going into sophomore year. Don't have a great life, but manageable in hindsight. I was really depressed at the time and thought about suicide a lot. I ride a bike home because I don't have a car yet. I start learning the train schedule to make sure I don't get stuck waiting to cross the tracks by a train. Get a brilliant idea one day. Speed home along the road on my little BMX bike to catch the train before it gets to the tracks.
Bike is one of those one-speeders with a light frame, and you stand to pedal if you don't want to look like a clown. Put on headphones so it looks like it might be an accident when I get hit. People will just assume I didn't hear it. While crossing the street to get to the train, this Lexus comes speeding by at way over the 35 miles per hour speed limit. No helmet, of course. Oh shit. JPG. Little BMX bike gets BTFO by speeding car. Get flung onto the hood of the car. Unconscious before I hit the ground. Hear myself pronounced as dead on arrival. Mom shows up to ID the body, absolutely devastated. Hear cops talking about how I must have gotten my bike stuck in the railroad tracks and not heard the train. Death by multiple system failure and severe spinal cord trauma. Start to fade towards some other form of consciousness. Open my eyes to see cops and bystanders. Try to move. Fires of hell would have been less painful. Bleeding from my head, face, nose, chest, and leg. Bit through my tongue a bit. Collarbone and ribs are obviously broken, along with several fingers and my nose. But I'm alive. I'm not sure if it was me going into shock or seeing what would have happened made me turn into a goof, but I was just so happy to be alive. Still feels good knowing that I got the sense knocked back into me. It was quite the wake-up call. My face when being hit by a car was better than not being hit by a car.
So the moral of the story is in harrowing yourself just sends you to another identical timeline. The ride literally never ends.
Be me. Hear of a cool mountain a few towns over covered in radio towers. Want to climb one of the abandoned ones. Walk around, see tons of cool, irrelevant shit. Climb one of the antenna towers that was inactive. On our way back down, we see a tiny concrete building. Looked abandoned as the bottom piece of glass from the front door was kicked in, forming a doggy door of sorts. The only thing was, the lights were on inside. Thinking this was cool, we head over to the building and prepare to head inside. Before doing so, we yell inside to see if anyone was inside, knock on various doors and windows. Seemingly no one home. Enter the building. It's tiny, only 2 rooms, a destroyed kitchen, and a large room which probably had a bunch of servers in it. The door was boarded up, all except for the doggy door entrance. Friend points out how he's been hearing movement above the kitchen the whole time we've been inside. Assuming it was rats, I head over to a hole in the ceiling that one of the panels was displaced from and stick my phone up there with flash on to take a pic of what's up there. Hear someone say, "Jesus Christ," subtly, and feel my phone get ripped out of my hand. Freak out, grab a piece of rebar that was on the ground and stab it up into the ceiling a few times. Hear a man let out a loud cry of pain due to getting jabbed in the gut with rebar. My friends and I all make our way out the doggy door with haste. I'm the last one out. Last thing I see is the guy poke his head out from the ceiling. Horribly unkempt hair and beard, clearly homeless and probably in his late 30s. Then his hand pops out. There's a small shiny object in it. As I made my way fully out of the doggy door, he screams something. I begin booking it back into the woods, alongside my friends who were already about 30 feet in front of me, when I hear a gunshot come from the shack. We didn't stop running until we reached the car and got the hell out of there.
I have 2 friends who have stories relating to the 13 Steps to Hell, which is a bit of a tourist attraction here in the Pacific Northwest. There used to be a stone staircase in the Maltby Cemetery that started at ground level and descended 13 steps into the ground. At the end of the staircase, there is just a smooth stone wall, Maybe at one point there was a door that was covered with concrete. Nobody I've talked to knows. Each step you take down the staircase causes a cold, unnatural feeling of dread that grows stronger with each step. Supposedly, very few make it to the last step, but those who do are met with a vision of hell when they turn around to go back up the stairs, sometimes being so traumatized that they are left unable to speak. It's not just the steps either. The whole cemetery is apparently screwed up. People report seeing visions of women and children wearing ragged clothes wandering the cemetery, and some have reported physical sensations like being hit or grabbed. Here's what my friend Caleb told me about it from his perspective for ease of writing. Come from a family of devout Christians. Grandfather used to be a level-headed, reasonable guy in his younger years. Now suffers from what is assumed to be dementia, constantly talks about demons, hell, and the occult. Warns me that something is following my family, demons or spirits or something. Grandmother says that he was a normal guy until he visited the 13 steps to hell. Friend who was there says he walked down the stairs, turned around, collapsed, and started convulsing, with a look of complete horror on his face. Friends pulled him out without going all the way down. Has supposedly been insane ever since. Now Caleb is not the type to bullshit people about things like this. He's a very trustworthy guy and never messes with /x/related things due to all the negative experiences he's had with them. The claim is backed up partially by the fact that the city of Maltby had the steps filled in with concrete in the 90s, due to the sheer number of reported incidents. Another friend of mine has a personal story. Only the steps by the time he went there. Decide to visit the Maltby Cemetery as a dare with a few friends in high school. Mother gives me a cross necklace as a precaution. Very religious family. Walk around for most of the night, not seeing or feeling anything strange. Start seeing weird shit as the night progresses. Shadows, silhouettes of people, strange blurred and dark patches. Not the type of thing that happens when your eyes play tricks on you in the dark. Get a sickening, uneasy feeling. The whole group becomes uncomfortable around the same time. Breathing is more difficult. Paranoia kicks in. Feel like things are brushing against me. Pins and needles on the back of my head. We get sketched out and decide to leave. Uneasiness is relieved once we're out of the cemetery. Reach down to grab the cross necklace, and the cross is gone. The chain the cross was on is still completely intact. Freak out and get out as soon as possible. Less dramatic than my other friend's story, but still gave me the heebie-jeebies. Pic related. One of the few pictures of the cemetery I could find.
I was committed to a psych ward about a year ago for some issues, so I'd imagine it would be different for someone out of their mind on drugs. But there were a couple of schizophrenics that were really something else. The hospital had a couple different wards, and the higher the floor, the more screwed up people were in the ward. I was on the 3rd, and there was one guy in there who was supposed to be on the 5th, but was being held where I was because they didn't have the space for him yet, and couldn't let him go. His name was David, and his mind was totally broken. I was wearing a Red Hot Chili Peppers The Getaway Tour shirt, and he was really concerned about the bear on my shirt eating the little girl on my shirt. He'd go into women's rooms at night, take off his shoes, throw them at the ground, and say shit like, "There's your baby." I don't remember what the security was like, but probably not so great, or the person had gone home for the night or something. There was a group therapy session where he held onto someone's foot saying it was his dog, and when told to stop, he said something like, "It's my dog," like the night I turned on the light and he didn't come. Burst into tears. I felt for the guy, but he was some kind of fucked. There was another, less severe schizo named Adrian who was convinced Satan was talking to her and telling her to do bad things. She was sweet, but again, there are always some screwed up people to be found.
Be me, 7th grade. Walking to school as usual. Decide to take a shortcut behind a friend's house. Turn right, walk 2 blocks. Turn left, walking. Where is the main road? Thinking I should have come to it to take a right 5 minutes ago. Check my Razor phone. Never forget. 8:50 a.m. I leave home at 7:20 a.m. It's a 20 to 30 minute walk to school. Where the hell am I intensifies. Panicking. Turn around and start backtracking. Inexplicably crying. Why am I crying? I'm just late to school. Emotion riding so high for some reason. Come to the main road I was trying to get to. One problem. I am on the opposite side from where I was walking from. Had I taken my normal route, I'd have taken a right and stayed on the same side of the street. I am now on the opposite side of the street and in an area as if I had taken a left. Call my dad. I'm hysterical at this point. He comes and finds me. I calm down when I see him. He's the first person I've seen all day. Wait. I haven't seen anyone during the entire hour and a half I was walking. Didn't even feel like an hour and a half. I go to school and everything was normal. Dad said to tell everyone I had a doctor's appointment so I don't get sent to the counselor and called crazy. I still have no clue what fucking happened that day. I was thinking aliens for a long time, but it could also be some time warp, wormhole, passage between dimensions, or God knows what else. I know one thing for sure, though, and that is, there is no way in hell I crossed that road without noticing, because on the opposite side from where I would have come from, it's lined with townhouses, so there's no way through to get behind them unless you take a couple more turns to get on the side streets to the neighborhoods.
Not paranormal, but live in a townhouse. 3 other neighbors, leaving the house with my cousin to have lunch. I park near a fence, but there's a huge portion of it missing due to kids in the neighborhood tearing it down. See a woman beyond the fence laying in the grass covered in blood. They rasp out, "Help! Holy shit, that's my neighbor." Cut across her throat, cuts on her wrists, covered in blood. Call 911, talk with her to keep her awake and with us. She survived. Turns out she has bipolar disorder and had been off her meds. She got into a fight with her husband and tried to off herself the night prior and failed. She was out there like that for like 14 hours. If we hadn't found her, she likely would have died. The imagery of it was what was scary to me. I had never seen such injuries in person. It was so surreal that for a solid minute or so, I thought I was being pranked.
About 3 to 4 months ago, 2 to 3 a.m., leaving house to walk to my parents' house to see after the cats. Parents are gone for about a week, so I have to look after them. Socially awkward, so 2 a.m. in a rather small town with 70% old people lets me feel chilled. On the way, I'm passing my old elementary school, proceed to walk towards it. Notice flashes of light in a parked car. Creepy vibes, but not really scared. Kinda shrugging it off. Walking closer. Look inside. There's a tablet flickering bright white inside. A few days later. Parents are back. This time afternoon. Again, same path, same goal. In the same parking spot is a car. Don't know if it's the same or another. Guy is standing beside it, staring into it. Doesn't seem to notice me at first. Have a travelling bag with me that squeaks when moving. The moment he hears and notices me walking towards him, he just walks away from the car and goes around the corner. This one is probably just my imagination, though it felt real that time. Don't remember much of my childhood. I'm probably 3 or 4 years old. Cage bed. I woke up early in the morning. It was already bright outside. The window was open. There's something flying in. I can't really describe, like a mechanical butterfly drone. Bright colours, red and blue, rather aggressive looking. The moment it flies in, it begins to move unnaturally, hovering for a second, moving a metre or a half, and hovering again. Get scared, pull sheets over my head, keeping myself buried under it. After a while, I slept again. Tell my parents. They don't believe me. The thing is, as I mentioned earlier, I don't remember much, but I remember that thing. I'm not convinced that it was my imagination or a dream, because I slept in again shortly after and vividly remember being scared of it. Can't make sense out of it either, up to this day.
2011. Be a landlord. Tenant stops paying rent. For 2 months straight, no call. Concerned. Go to the property. Thinking probably bailed on me. Knock. Call the residents. Hear the phone ring, but no one answers. Proceed to open the door. Place is clean and well kept. Look around. Spoiled food in the fridge. Light in the bathroom is on, but the bathroom is empty. Closet has clothes and personal belongings. The bed is made. Dust on all surfaces. No bad smells. Open the hallway closet. Some sort of shrine of the Death Ripper. It had money, liquor, and folded notes in Spanish. Just weird, but does not freak me out. Call my cleaning crew to take all the furniture, personal belongings, clean the place up, etc. Few days later, I'm inspecting the unit. I call the locksmith to change the keys. List the place to be rented. I get a call from a couple wanting to see the place. I take them there to see the place, doing the walkthrough of the unit. They open the hallway closet. They look shocked. They ask me, "What is this? Is this a..." I pace to see what they are talking about. Another fucking shrine where the old one was. This time I'm about a bit disturbed. Call my cleaning crew and start ranting at them. Then I realize I'm the only one with the new keys. After showing the unit, I removed the shrine. Even to this day, I have no logical explanation for who placed the new shrine.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel as more Greentext will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.